It is April 16th. It is day 87 of the Trump presidency. And it was a little bit wild today. I sort of felt like someone opened Pandora's box and a lot of chaos flew out. Or consequences maybe, or like weird truth coming to the surface. You'll see why I feel that way at the end of this show. So let's get into it. Senator Chris Van Hollen, sorry, I had to move her out of the way because she's, again, standing in front of my notes. So Senator Chris Van Hollen went to El Salvador today. He is a Democrat. He is a senator. He wants to try to help bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia home. When he got there, he was denied. Not only was he denied entry into CCOT, which is the name of the facility where Mr. Garcia is, he was also denied any proof of life. So they just told him he's alive, but they wouldn't allow him to have a phone call or a video call or any actual proof that he is alive. He also had a discussion with the vice president of El Salvador and was told by the vice president of El Salvador that the United States, our State Department, has a deal in the works right now and has already been paying them, but has a deal to pay them $6 million. I don't know if that's annual, to house hundreds of migrants there at CCOT, but that they are currently being paid to keep Garcia. That is absolutely batshit insane. That whole story is insane. Keep in mind, too, that Republican members of Congress, as well as Kristi Noem, have been allowed into CCOT. Kristi Noem went there and filmed. Okay? She went in there and filmed. They told him that even if he stands there and waits a week, they can't guarantee him that he'll have any contact with Garcia. It's so crazily, wildly sketchy what's happening. Honestly, as far as consequences are concerned, like, this is where things are starting to get a little bit heated. Okay? So we'll just move straight into that. Judge James Boasberg. Boasberg is back, and I tried to remember his name yesterday. Hopefully by the end of all this, I'll be able to remember it for longer than 48 hours. The problem is, so much is happening that someone's name comes into my consciousness and then leaves just as quickly because I don't have space for all of this crap. That's why it's in a notebook. Anyways, James Boasberg announced that he has probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt for defiance of his orders. Again, related to the migrants case, he basically said it's provable that they deliberately did not follow his orders. And you can't, according to the U.S. Constitution, you cannot just ignore judicial orders, bro. So, again, this is getting crazy. Now with this additional information that, despite having admitted that Mr. Garcia was sent over there as an administrative error, rather than like actually resolving the situation, because they were told to facilitate Mr. Garcia's return, okay? The word facilitate means you help him get back here. It's really clear. It's the English language. It's not fucking complicated. And they have their talking heads saying all kinds of bananas shit. The man has no criminal record. There is literally, we have been shown zero evidence that he has any connection whatsoever to MS-13 or any of the fucking, it's the gang. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So this is going to continue to get crazier. I had a feeling at the beginning of this week that this was going to be a weird ass week. And it has so far I was dead ass right. So this is an update from an earlier story, but there is now like confirmation, although it is confidential, but supposedly came from like a high up official, an anonymous top official, that Trump was furious when Elon went to meet with the Pentagon secretly about China. And that he said, the actual quote is, "What the fuck is Elon doing there? Cancel it right now." So I think, Elon obviously has a lot of economic interests in China. And, I am not particularly surprised that he would try to intervene here. We know that Elon has tried to convince Trump not to move forward with the tariffs. He's like, that's been confirmed. They've come out and said that. And Trump did not listen to him. And we know that Elon has made public statements about not agreeing with the tariffs, and especially not in regards to Europe and other countries that buy his products. So he also made public statements about how it would be virtually impossible for him to build Teslas without Chinese parts, man. Anyways, the girls are fighting again, and it is what it is. A lot of people have very strong feelings about tariffs, as they should, and we'll talk about the economy in just a little bit. So, speaking of tariffs, yesterday, I don't know how this passed my attention yesterday, but the U.S. announced yesterday that they're raising the tariff on China to 245%. Like, why not 1,000? You know what I mean? Just like balls to the wall. Why are we holding back? Fuck it. Just how about, infinity times whatever you spent. This is just not going to end well, man. It just isn't. It's not good. There have also been audio leaks of Trump saying, and obviously this is older, of Trump saying that he knows that COVID has an almost 5% death rate in comparison to the flu, which has less than 1%. And so, yeah, that is trending. And I'm assuming, I'm not sure if it's from, I believe it would probably be from his first term, obviously. It could be more recent that he said that to someone, but there's audio of him talking about it. So it also, I sort of feel like it's a lost cause to try to prove that Trump's a liar, because if there are people that still don't see that, I don't know what to say about that. You know what I mean? I feel like if there's still people that think that this is like an honest man who keeps his word, then those people, there's no sense in showing them any additional evidence, because there's way more than enough evidence out there right now. This is also kind of an older story, but it's coming up now because of the FTC lawsuit against Meta. So in 2022, Mark Zuckerberg was strongly considering wiping everyone's Facebook friends and forcing them to start over to lift engagement. Aside from that being an insane idea, I think it's also important because it shows, and this is what they're saying in the lawsuit, it shows the level of desperation that Facebook had to try to increase engagement. And I believe they already owned Instagram in 2022. 99% sure. Shit, what is the other thing that they own besides Instagram? Now I can't even remember. But in any case, they, obviously the FTC feels that there is an unjust sort of borderline monopoly there, and they're potentially looking to break that all up, and it will definitely, as we've said, it will definitely affect Zuckerberg's ad revenue. Oh, they own Snapchat. That's why I couldn't remember, because I don't use Snapchat, so I don't care. This is really, really gross, and I'm sorry to have to break this news to you, that a person would say this kind of crap out loud. But RFK Jr. made some really horrific, embarrassing, heinous statements about autism today. So brace yourself a little bit. But before I even tell you what he said, I want to also tell you that they are currently using AI to go through people's health records, looking for commonalities among people that have been diagnosed with autism. He's basically calling it, I literally heard him call it a pandemic. And he said autistic children will grow up to never pay taxes, never hold a job, and never use the toilet unassisted. Gotcha. So he is such white trash. I just can't believe that these people, someone is handing them microphones. It's so, it's really embarrassing to live in this country right now. He's going to ruin his life to the point where it's like so far beyond repair. I do think he's going to end up like the MyPillow guy. I've heard people compare him to the MyPillow guy. Yeah, man, I see it. I see a real good chance that he is going to be broke and just shunned from society by the end of this. So the third Pentagon employee was placed on leave today under suspicion of leaking, but also just because he disagrees with Pete Hegseth. So like they're not pretending at all anything. His name is Colin Carroll. He's a chief of staff. You know, it keeps getting more and more dangerous for us, obviously. And also for the people that are trying to have any kind of integrity or to remain loyal to the Constitution of the United States of America, which should be the only loyalty that anyone in our government has. But they are very, very carefully with a fine-tooth comb going through all these government organizations, looking for people that are not Trump loyalists and getting rid of them. And, more and more people are coming out and making statements about what's happening. Governor Newsom is going to sue the Trump administration over the tariffs on behalf of the state of California. And I heard his statement about that. And he said he is doing it actually on behalf of everyone in this country that needs him to do this. And that California essentially stands to lose the most revenue. So he is happy to get started, to be the one to kick this show off. You know what I mean? Good. They should. I think that's, I think that the bare minimum consequence here should be a crap ton of lawsuits. They are the amount of financial violence they are causing to the people in this country is breathtaking. Speaking of which, so this is where I was saying, Jerome Powell made some statements today about our economy, and they're not doing anything right now because he said that they are going to be caught between a rock and a hard place where tariffs are going to raise prices and also people are not going to be spending money, and we still have a problem with inflation. And so they do not want to cut rates. They're basically going to be looking all the time, is what he said, at like, what is the biggest emergency that we're facing? Has consumer confidence sunk so low through the floor that if they don't cut rates, the country is going to completely collapse financially? Like, has the worth of the dollar completely tanked? Like, they've got to look at all this different stuff. And right now they're not sure because inflation is very high and tariffs are causing much more inflation. And also consumer confidence is low and spending is down and the jobs report's coming out soon and that's going to be completely fucked. I don't know, man, but he just said we have no plans to do anything. So the stock market tanked today. I believe the Dow was down 860 points last time I checked. Yeah. I don't think they have any fucking clue what's going to happen because this is sort of an unprecedented situation. Unless we want to compare it to the Great Depression. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be anything good. Although, you know what? Surprise me. The universe is it's more than welcome to surprise me with some good things happening, because you never know. Sometimes unexpected good things come of complete and total chaos, disaster, and destruction. It's true. Sometimes it does. So maybe I'll keep an open mind. Okay. It's funny that I said that, because this next headline is like a maybe. So Republicans are now actually looking at the debt that this country has and the budget. And they're saying, you know what? This doesn't fucking make any sense. Hey, that's so weird that you guys just noticed that. But hey, glad. Thank you for joining the party. So there are like rumblings, and some Republicans are saying that they think that their party needs to reconsider tax cuts for the wealthy. And they're sort of like, why are we putting so much emphasis on this when our entire voter base is poor as dirt? So, I think that's really interesting. And someone who is really willing to go on the record and say that he hears his colleagues talking about this is Kevin Cramer of North Dakota. And he basically just said he sees a populist movement growing in the party. Really interesting. I sort of doubt that this time around that they're going to make any changes to the budget because of this, but it is interesting to think that with what's happening and the damage that the Trump administration is doing right now, I think it has the potential to cause to like either deal a literal fatal blow to the Republican Party or cause permanent damage to the point where it has to morph into something else. And I mean, it already has morphed into something else, hasn't it? Because obviously Trump is not a Republican, nor was he ever. This is just a random fact that I tossed in here today for you because it's so bananas and it makes me really mad. So I wrote it down. There was a study done that found that women were 50% less likely to be prescribed pain medication for the same procedure that they give to men, basically. So like if I were to have a surgery on my ankle and a man were to have a surgery on his ankle, I would be 50% less likely to be prescribed pain medications to deal with my pain. And that is something you should know if you're a woman. I can speak from experience that I have not been offered pain medication several times when I absolutely should have been. And I was told like, oh no, you won't feel anything. It'll just be pressure. And then I like passed out. So maybe if you're a woman and you're watching this, don't listen and advocate for yourself, which can also be hard. I'm very particular about doctors because I am scared of them. Okay, this is the last story for tonight. It's super messed up. It's so easy for this crap to get lost in the headlines right now, I swear to God. I think some of this stuff is actually from a couple of days ago, but it's like the fire hose of news is so intense and wild. As much as I scour the news, I'm constantly seeing headlines that I'm like, when the fuck did this happen? Anyways, the Pentagon's is it their entire team? Yeah, I think it is their entire team of tech experts. They all resigned together because Doge is going in and fucking with our military AI tool. It's like something that this tech team created together, and they're doing weird shit with it that is dangerous. And so they basically we're getting out of here. That's really bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. My PTSD is really bad today. I'm not going to go into it, but some really fucked up shit happened today, peripheral to me, and it has me tripping balls. This is the second time that I heard a car horn honk, and I just, fritzed out. Yeah, so I'm probably going to first get the cat hair off my face. Second, I'm going to go relax. I don't know what I'm going to do. stare into space for a few minutes and then probably take a bath and go to bed. I sure hope that someone on that Pentagon tech team is willing to like leak a warning. I'm not asking for details that would put us in additional danger, but it would be nice to know what Doge is doing. I mean, I think from the whistleblower report yesterday, I think we can determine that they are doing really, really dangerous things that are putting our country in tremendous amounts of danger, and they're sharing information with, for sure, Russia. Lord knows who else. Anyway, I don't know. I'm trying to think, do I have any advice for you tonight? Probably not. I might go watch Black Mirror. That seems like really bad advice. Although I will say that this new season of Black Mirror is supposed to have some episodes that are like not necessarily uplifting, but like imagining the future in a slightly more positive way or something. I don't think it's all like horror is what I'm trying to say. But you know what? I'll find out and I'll report back. I think I'm going to watch maybe at least one episode. I hope you guys are hanging in there. I hope you have a good night. Maybe we'll get some consequences in the next 7 days. Here's to hoping.